I'ma rule the world, yeah, yeah. I'ma rule the world, I'ma rule the world, yeah.
Hi, Veronica. Oh, so good to see you.
Good to see you too. And thanks for coming to my studio.
I know.
It's a textile studio at NSCAD.
This is gorgeous. Like, this looks like a New York loft.
Yeah, I love it here. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us come in and really watch you do what you do. And I'm so excited that you're going to tell your story tonight on Women Now.
Thank you for coming. I'm happy to see you. Welcome.
Ada, this is amazing. There's so much space in here and the tables. But what I noticed right away, every table starts with this red liner. And then you had this beautiful cloth that has 100 prints on it that you put down first.
Yeah.
And you had to pin all that first.
Yeah, that's the process. You pin it all round.
Wow. This is the fabric that you'll use.
This is the fabric I'm going to use. So I've been prepping, trying to just set this up. And then this is what we use. We use the pins around and then pin the fabric so it does not stain the table when you print.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, as you can see, it makes a lot of mess. So this is the mess you will have made on the table directly.
But the mess is actually gorgeous because it's all these prints
and
colors. Like, I love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of sewing, in that we have to like do all of the prep with our pattern first and pin everything and cut it before you get to the good stuff.
The planning is the key thing, and if you don't plan well, you're gonna miss. Your prints won't be straight, for instance.
Yes.
And they won't be stable, and they won't meet up with your ends, and you have like 3 or 4 colors to print or 2 colors to print. When you go the second round, you probably be missing. So.
And also, your supplies are expensive. So you do not want to be having to throw things out or start over.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's how it works. So we've had to put these things down, and I'm almost done with spinning the fabric on the table. And then from here, we'll go grab my stuff over there.
I will come
I still have some materials over there. Yeah.
So this is like step 2.
Yeah, more or less like. So we usually will hang this. This is squeegee over there, and I've already gotten that ready. And
it's very organized in here, I have to say. Like, everybody really follows the rules.
It is.
And it's very clean.
It is clean, because we always clean it up. Yeah, this is my screen.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to go over to where you're going to actually do your stencil.
Yes. I just want to make a quick stencil and then run some prints so you can just see how it works. Yes.
I love it.
So I'll take you to the section where I have to do my stencil. I'm just making a quick stencil for you to just see how this works.
Now I know why this place has to be so big.
Yeah, because it's in a space, and this is a cotton mat.
We use these for sewing.
Exactly.
Same thing. But also, this is nice because it's very separate from the painting, because we don't want to get anything on your stencil.
Yeah, so I'm just going to make like spiral lines just to create some patterns on my print.
Now, when you come in, Ada, do you sort of already have an idea? You've thought about it throughout the week?
Not necessarily. Like, this is just spontaneous kind of thing.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's your personality.
Yeah. I just don't need to think too much about it. Sometimes I have some ideas and I just pen them down or sketch them down to remember,
Yes, and then bring it in.
Yes, I do that sometimes, just not to forget.
Yes.
Especially when it's attached to something, something that...
So you have to cut out each strip.
Exactly. And that's why I'm doing it on the mat, so it does not destroy the table. And you don't have to cut the fabric on the other tables.
That's right. That's a fair bit of work, though. So, Ada, while you're doing this, talk to us a little bit about what made you decide to come do this course at NSCAD, textile.
Yeah, so my background is actually painting. I did a bit of textile back home in Nigeria, but textile was not my major because I felt painting was more difficult for me to do. So I took more interest in painting. After school, I started running a non-profit organization for girls.
That's right.
In the arts and young women in the arts. Over the years, I've grown a different kind of interest in different things. And I thought about why not take up another course that could be something you could add to some of the activities you have in the organization. And screen printing was one of them. Back home, we use a lot of fabric on prints, on patterns, on fabrics, bold patterns on our fabrics. And no one ever really cares about how this is made, So I just wanted to make my own patterns.
That's right.
So I'm done with the first stencil.
So now we get to go over back to our screen.
Yes, we have to. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got about 2 or 3 of these.
Yes, I have some screens.
Nice.
Because sometimes you need to work with 3 different colors or 2 different colors. So we're ready.
Is this the messy part?
Yeah.
So what colors are we using today? We've got...
I have red, but I'm going to work with just green.
Green.
And...
So we flip it upside down.
Yes, and then put the ink over there or here, whatever position I choose to stay. And then I roll my squeegee.
And so, because you pasted these on here, those will be...
Blocked.
Those will be blocked?
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm excited to see it. So first you're going to go over with green. Oh, wow. You guys go through a lot of paint.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I'm running it over again.
This is exciting. You must have been so excited with the very first time you did this.
Yes, I love screen printing. Actually.
This is exciting, though, just watching it.
So I just want it to be a little darker. That's why I'm going over and over and over and over.
I think you're going to encourage people to come try this. Sign up for this class. Let me see. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this.
So I just wanted something simple.
I love this. Well, this really shows us, how this works.
Yeah.
It's really blocked out.
This is a basic, this is just to show you how the printing thing works.
Do you have to wait for this to dry?
Yes. To a good level, yes.
Yes. And then you can cut this out.
Watch my screen. Watch my screen and wait for the screen to dry and start all over again if I'm using one screen.
Got it. Yeah. I love it. This is beautiful. So talk to us a little bit more about your organization. Because I know in Nigeria, you really started it because you saw that there was a need for not just about a space and a place to have lessons and things, but about having supplies, being able to provide all of those things that are needed to do art.
Yes. So one of the reasons why I started the Girl Child Art Foundation was to provide a space for girls to, just find themselves and discover who they are using art.
Yes, yes.
And provide the resources that those who cannot afford it can have access to.
Can still come.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And, art is one, what I call it a course or an activity that people see as a luxury thing. Because art materials are expensive. They're not jokes, right?
It's very expensive.
So most people cannot afford it, but they love art and they can. So the whole idea was to make it easy for girls to access materials, art classes.
Yes.
I felt the people who are most hit are girls. Because you find that a lot of girls in my environment, are taught to just limit themselves to certain roles in the society. Like, you're going to grow to be a mother and your work is going to end up in the kitchen. A lot of things have changed, like when we started, because this is like the 20th year I've done this. And I know that for the first few years, like to the 10th year, we didn't have support. You don't even find funding. There is actually seriously no funding in art in that region. Not like in the developed world, this was existing.
What did you do?
Oh, I was funding it out of passion from my pocket, and a few friends and who just felt like, donating.
They were helping out.
Yes. So you find people who volunteer to take on classes, people who volunteer to give us spaces, exhibition spaces, and publications. That's how we survived for those years.
That's a real passion project.
Yeah.
Because also you're providing, I mean, I feel that art is just such a, also for mental wellness and,
Yes.
and a stress relief.
Yes.
And maybe sometimes, girls want to express something that they can't.
Yeah. So for us, it was a thing of where we can go and just be able to just speak through our work and express ourselves through our work and just, say things that the society would allow you to say. You can do that in your painting. You can do that in your art forms.
That's right.
Art can actually transform the society.
Yes.
Can be used as a tool for activism, can be used as a tool for advocacy for people's rights and spaces. And, it was not existing when we were doing this.
That's really quite a persistent struggle and fight, and you didn't give up. You just kept with it.
No, because when I tell people that I've done this for 20 years, like, are you serious? I did it when people didn't even want to hear girl child.
Yes.
There was a time people didn't want to talk about a girl child. But now it's all over the place as if it's been there. But there was a time people didn't want to know. I believed strongly that you have to start to change the minds early. You can't do that halfway.
Your strength and your power, that's, yeah.
Thank you,
This has been truly a gift.
Thank you. I'm happy you're here.
I can't wait to see where you're going to be in a year, with all of this, with the program, with your art. I'm really excited.
Yes.
I'll have to check back in.
Me too. Yeah, you surely be updated. Yes, you'll be updated.
Here we are for our girl time, coffee chat.
Yeah.
And this is nice. It's quiet. Everybody's gone. Ada, take us through a time for you that you feel you really had to overcome, something in your life. And what skills or things did you pull on to get through that?
The biggest strength you need comes from within,
Yourself.
and what you tell yourself in those times.
Yes.
For me, one of the things that has driven me into what I do, expectations, would border around mostly about how my environment in Nigeria was, or is. It was mostly about being a woman in a patriarchal society where the male person or child is preferred, I grew up with that, thought, and it affected a lot of things that I did. And I know a lot of young girls and young women pass through that, where you have parents who society made to think that they must have a male child, to be valuable, right? And so for me, in my household, we're mostly girls and just 2 boys, right?
Oh, wow.
Yes, and my mom had to give birth to 6 girls before the boys, right?
So she had that stress and pressure.
Yeah, the pressure was there. And women of those times, they don't talk about the pressure they go through. No. But I watched her go through those pains, despite that they were educated, they were enlightened. But I wouldn't say it was their fault. It was the society that they were in. And from my perspective, I didn't understand it, how? Why am I not as valued, even though I know my dad loved me so much, right?
So you felt from an early age,
yes,
this is not right,
yes,
and I'm not going to.
Yes, so for me, it was all about why are we not preferred as girls?
You question stuff right away.
Yes, why are we being shut down? Because by culture, sometimes they say, oh, why should a woman talk when a man is talking, right? You hear that, even till date, I still heard that recently. Yes, right? And when you hear that, you begin to wonder, what do you do to make you heard, right? The only way I could do that was from my art, from equipping other women. I just wanted young girls to discover who they were and their strength, to just know that nobody should talk you down. You are valuable. You are equally a human, like a man, right? So for me, it's not a competition. It's just that I don't like the fact that you don't value the gender, right? And there are lots of things that women bring into the system that we shouldn't be shut down.
That's right.
So that's, stays like behind my head almost.
Well, your confidence would constantly be
questioned.
Yes.
And so you have to just try hard to prove yourself. So you imagine that a woman that does not have a job, does not have money, she has zero negotiating power.
Then you're so dependent.
Everything, yes. So you're dependent in every way.
Right.
Like you can't even speak. You are a nobody in any situation, both in the family and outside. So you have to work hard to be independent. You have to work hard to earn a living.
Yes.
And a lot of young girls were talked down to believing that they can't cross a certain level in the society. And so for me,
in education as well.
But in education, like, don't dream beyond this level.
Yes, okay.
These are for guys, men, and only men can do this job, girls can do this job. And I also observed even in my art school then that a lot of young girls who, when they have a difficult part of the work to do, or they just say, oh, that boy draws very well, he draws better than me, might as well help me do it and help me finish my part of my work.
They would
they would just give in and they won't want to do anything. So
and you were seeing this, you're observing this.
Yeah, I was. And I was so driven, like I was a one-man squad. And I am still a one-man squad anyway.
This is your goddess, your inner goddess is just flowing out. So when you would observe that, how would you handle that? How could you direct a young girl like that to change your way of thinking?
Yeah,
right?
You first of all have to, let them know that they can do it. You can do it. That's the basic thing. If you tell yourself that you can do something, you do it.
Yes.
Once you can convince yourself, and don't listen to the wrong people, don't take things that don't make sense too much to the heart so you don't get discouraged. Because people will discourage you at some point anyway. But you need to be sure of where you're headed. And when you're clear about where you're headed, nothing can stop you. No matter what comes your way. Like, when you fall, you get up. I fell so many times. You can't even, like, if we begin the story today, we won't finish this discussion today.
But that's how we grow.
Yes, and when I fall, I get up.
Yes.
I push. I even do better. Each time I did better.
Yes. You realize that you're a survivor, no matter what.
Yes.
I like what you said earlier. Still, though, at the end of the day, you have to have that inside of you. And your inner voice needs to be...
Yes, you need to be in tune with your inner voice.
Yes.
And the good side of your inner voice, because sometimes we have the doubting one as well,
Yes, of course.
So the good side of your inner, once you hear the good one, stick to that one.
But that's why, where you grew up, your program would provide those young girls whose voice inside wouldn't have been confident, wouldn't have been positive. You were helping to train that and change that. And
when one of the things this does for you, art does for you, is it doesn't criticize you. This is yours, and you own it. It's yours. Like, the confidence is real. For me, a lot of things happen to women as they grow.
Yes.
And they can be abused, bodily abuse. You don't have the right to your body in some environments. And so it becomes an issue, and it also affects the performance of these girls in the school. You have girls who come into the center and they're having issues with such relationships, boyfriends harassing them, people harassing them on the streets. You have to deal with that. And that was not the only thing you planned to talk about in the center. And then you now begin to talk about sexual violence. And so we actually started advocating for against sexual violence.
Yes.
Because it was a common report.
Okay, yes.
And so the only way we could also use was art. And we're now doing community public street art projects, murals in public spaces against sexual violence.
So huge murals.
Yes, talking about, you know, just getting into the face of people who support this. Like, for you to know, every day you pass there, you're going to see it on the wall saying stop.
I was just going to say, because some girls probably couldn't verbalize it.
Yes, they couldn't.
So to be able to put it down this way.
Yeah.
Or to, like you just said, walk by and see that.
Yeah. And then we share contacts on where they can get help from, if they need help.
Oh my God.
You know, yeah, that's the least we could do using arts. And there's a huge one.
You just did this. You did this first term here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
This is incredible. Like, I need to see this on shirts.
That's a screen printing on paper.
This is amazing.
Screen printing on paper using acrylics.
This is so incredible. My body is my body.
Yeah, I've done a mural on that back home in Nigeria.
This is in, oh my gosh.
And it was still My Body is My Body. And that was the campaign that women and young girls should be able to tell you what they want you to do with their bodies.
That's right.
Their body is theirs. That you're married to someone or that someone is your girlfriend does not mean that you should dictate what happens to their body. They should be able to tell you. Yeah, they should be able to tell you what they want.
I can't, this is just so detailed, and the color is just perfect. It speaks.
That's the color for the event. Usually they have the UNR, they celebrate what they call the orange, call it a period or a week, you know, 16 days of campaign against sexual violence and
oh my gosh, that's
gender-based
incredible.
violence.
So they do 16 days.
16 days of all kinds of campaigns against gender-based violence, sexual violence, all over the world.
Are you going to bring this here? We need to do this here.
They do it here somehow.
We're doing
too.
it 16 days? Are we doing it for 16 days, though? I haven't seen that. This is incredible. You are not alone. Speak up.
You have to speak up. A lot of people conceal what happens to them because of stigma.
That's right.
Yeah, and speaking up is one of the first steps to healing, you know?
That's right. It's hard sometimes, though, for, I think, young girls to find their voice. Sometimes I hear, like, with my daughter, like, when they were younger, they would speak to each other first, you know, and just really support one another. But yet, they weren't brave enough yet to maybe tell an adult about some things.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we also run art therapy classes and sessions, free sessions. All these things are free. Just walk in and just use the paint, use the materials, dance. Just express yourself.
Just get it.
Yeah, and get some relief.
So you're here now. You have an entire team that's still running everything.
Yeah, I have people who are still running.
And so you're just slowly bringing this here.
Yes, hopefully, yes.
Ada, honestly, cheers to you.
Thank you. And
this program, drink, you have to drink, it's bad luck. We have to check back in with you in a year. We have to have you back on and see what you've done. Thank you for taking us on this journey, which was very exciting because this isn't something we get to just experience every day.
Yes.
But for sharing your journey and just giving all of these words of encouragement to anyone watching this show. Anyone.
Stay strong. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hug.
Thank you.
Oh.